Welcome to Placing Talent with Physemp. I'm your host, Sales and Marketing Director here at Physicians Employment. My name is Paul Strubel, and this month's episode, we're going to talk about some of the recent things we've been doing with the website, some observations about physician traffic of late, and also touch on a couple of the most recent blogs that I think are really fun and exciting. So let's get into that. As we get into summer here, you'll notice a lot of projects are underway. We've got a number of things happening on the site. Most recently, we did launch our single ad portal. Historically, as a reminder, Physemp has always been a subscription-based company where we offer long-term solutions for people with ongoing needs. So that's hospital systems, hospitals, recruitment firms, people who have more than just one need right now. It's built like that. This offers an option for a client base that we weren't addressing previously, and we're very excited to do that. You can now purchase a single ad on Physemp.com. If you have one need, you just need to get an ad up for a physician or a nurse practitioner. You can now purchase that on a shorter term basis. It's not the one-year subscription model that we typically use. It's a month-to-month situation where each month you can leave that ad up. Once you fill that position, you can take it down. And that's how we've set it up. So check that out. That's on Physemp.com if you're interested in more of a small needs solution. Physemp now offers that as well. We're very proud of that. Progress also continues on our AI. We are still in the development stages of rolling out that personalized, I guess you would call it like a concierge for job search. We're very excited about the direction of that. And we are a couple weeks away, we think, from having what we'd call kind of a public ready option. So keep an eye out for that. And also, at large, I think what we're seeing at the moment in terms of physician traffic, we're still recovering, of course, from the massive layoffs that we saw 4 or 5 years ago. As everyone remembers, in 2020, we had a global pandemic. That coincided with the beginning of the natural baby boomer retirement. So what you saw was a lot of natural retirement of physicians. You also saw a lot of physicians opting for early retirement that were close, let's say, that we weren't expecting. But we lost roughly 15 to 20% of the physicians working in this country during that 2-year period of 2020 and 2021. In 2022, what you saw was a massive reshuffling. So in a typical year, the American Medical Association estimates that about 8 to 10% of physicians will get a new job. In 2022, 43% of all physicians got a new job. That is a massive restructuring across all levels of our country, which has affected job search, and we are still recovering from that. The good news is we do see a corner being turned, and we're starting to see those numbers in our database climb back up. Now, our model, because Physemp's database typically showcases the most active looking physicians at this moment, our database was hit a little harder than some of those ones that stretch out the database over, let's say, a 5 or 7 year period, where physicians leave, but you're seeing a lot of numbers stay the same in other databases. However, those numbers aren't very relevant if those physicians aren't looking for work, or better yet, aren't even in the job market. Job, workplace, whatever you want to call it. They're not in the field. They're not in the pool. So we benefited in the sense of having a list of doctors that were actively looking. We were hurt in the sense that it looked like the database was a lot smaller than it usually is, and people were going, well, what's going on with Physemp? The reality is our list was more pertinent than ever, but yes, showcased a smaller number. What are we seeing now? We're starting to see residency kick back in. We're starting to see those numbers climb a little bit, but because almost half the workforce got a new position just 2 years, 3 years ago, it does make it difficult to think that those people who are actively looking now are just starting to get back into that workplace, and we're seeing a return to normalcy in terms of job search. So there's reasons for optimism, but we are still recovering from the big physician shortage, and that is only expected to continue. So there's going to be a continued, imbalance, if you will, in the people leaving the job market and the influx of people coming in. But the good news is that people are looking for jobs at this time. So that helps build our database back up. And then lastly, I wanted to keep this one short. Typically we come in, we kind of give you an overview of what's happening in the marketplace. I think we've addressed that for the most part right now. We continue to see the rise of AI with job search, the Google job search, if you will, is acting as an AI replacement. When you do a typical search, like if you're looking for the best shoes for somebody over 65 years old, for example, you might get an AI summary at the top of a Google search. That same thing's happening with job search, where you're going to see the Google search returns. If you do, let's say, family practice in Nebraska, as an example, they're going to show you the jobs at the top of the page, where the organic search returns are being diminished more and more and more, pushed down further and further as you have to scroll through. The paid advertisements, the sponsored ads, if you will, are going to be there. You're going to see those, and then you're going to see what Google wants you to see in the job search. That is sort of the placeholder for the AI search for the time being, but we feel like that's coming more and more, which is exactly why we're working on the Physemp AI search as we speak to get that out. It's going to be a great tool for physicians, and it's going to be a great tool for recruiters. So it will both give the physicians the opportunity to have a dialogue about what type of jobs they're looking for, and maybe not be put into such a narrow box of this is my specialty and this is the place that I'm looking. Instead, they can have more of a conversation about what their ideal opportunities might be. And then that conversation through the AI can suggest jobs all over the country that they may not have realized that was something they might be interested in or that was available. That same conversation, then we're able to condense that down and pass that along to recruiters, so they're able to see what the physician has in mind when it comes to job search as well. So they may have something that's not online at the moment, or something that they're bringing to market that they can then go to that conversation and say, this is a great pair. So we're very excited about the tool. We're looking forward to that. And then lastly, on our blog, on the Physemp blog, we continue to put out great content there. I really like what the writers are doing. This week alone on the physician side, there's been things about time management. Also, U.S. News World Report released the top 10 states to live in the United States in terms of all kinds of different metrics. And we looked at that list. We looked at what we had in terms of available jobs, and the writers pushed out a great article about some of the best places to look for physician jobs and to be a physician when it comes to job search in this country. So that's on there now. We've also got a number of other things going for recruiters about managing your brand and helping build brand awareness. That's on the Physemp Recruiter blog right now, so you can check all those out. Again, I'm Paul Strubel with Physicians Employment, a sales and marketing director here, and this is Placing Talent with Physemp. We'll catch you next month. As we get into the summer here, we're getting into some of those livelier times for some of your fiscal years, and we look forward to talking to you as we get renewals coming up and people thinking about new business. Like and subscribe to this page for more, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.